The arrests are up, and yet you still get pushback from the sanctuary cities. How significant is that pushback, and is it stopping you from doing your job?
Oh, it's absolutely not going to stop us. I mean, it makes our job more difficult, makes the job more dangerous.
This guy sucks. Me in 1937, when I see Adolf Hitler, well, I guess not in the television, in the newspaper. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Hate this guy.
I mean, the numbers, as you said, we're more than twice the numbers as Joe Biden had a year ago from today, and the vast majority being public safety threats. But am I happy? No, I want more, because we had last count we had over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal convictions walking the streets of this country. So we got a lot of them to find. But sanctuary city makes it difficult. What's most concerning, though, it makes it more dangerous. When we can arrest a bad guy in a county jail, if one officer arrests one guy in the safety and security of county jail or a state prison. But when these sanctuary cities release a public safety threat back into the public, which on its face is just ridiculous, it's more dangerous for the ICE officers to make that arrest, it's more dangerous for the alien, and it's certainly more dangerous for the communities. Releasing a public safety threat back in the community is just dumb, and it puts the communities at great risk of more crime. So we want to work with the sanctuary cities and get into the jail. Give us access to the guy that you locked in a jail cell.
They're trying really hard to go after sanctuary cities and sanctuary states legally, you know. Like the lawsuits they filed against a bunch of officials in New York. They really want, and as far as I can tell, there's no legal pretext to it at all. So, but I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, everything is going to make its way up to the Supreme Court eventually, but it takes time.
That's who we want to talk to.
Well, I mean, look, you've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doing webinars to explain to illegal immigrants how to evade ICE arrests. And then she tweeted out after something you said maybe she's going to be in trouble now. And she says maybe he can learn to read the Constitution would be a good place to start.
AOC was explaining to people their rights. It's again, like, it's the most, like, at its essence, the most, like, anti-Constitution administration you could imagine. They're literally saying, like, maybe AOC should be arrested for explaining to people what their legal rights are.
She's continuing her resist efforts against your efforts, Tom.
Look, I forgot more about the Constitution.
Here's Newsweek covering it, okay? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez under investigation over illegal migrant video. Border czar Tom Homan suggested Rep. AOC is being investigated by the DOJ for potentially impeding immigration enforcement law. Really? That sounds pretty serious. So we're going to start jailing political opponents. They are literally trying to do that at the moment with all the lawsuits and charges they're throwing out with vis-a-vis sanctuary cities and states. Ocasio-Cortez hosted a live webinar on Wednesday advising migrants in her congressional district about their rights if they come into contact with ICE agents looking to deport them. That's what she did. Like, that's their description, even Newsweek's description right there. Let me try to find a do not open your door. AOC advises illegal immigrants on how to evade ICE. Can we get, like, a recording of the webinar? Webinar video. Webinar video? Do we believe in recording?
Tonight, we'll be covering important information about your rights when interacting with ICE, as well as information on how our office can assist New York 14 constituents.
So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, but I need the AOG to opine on that. But because there's impediment, it's impediment in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, but we need some further guidance on that. But
Border czar Tom Homan suggested
I need the AOG to opine on that, but because there's impediment, it's impediment in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, but we need some further guidance on that.
So, to be clear, AOC's office did indeed post a webinar Wednesday on Facebook. That webinar guided migrants on what their rights were and advised them on how to deal with ICE. Ocasio-Cortez responded to Homan on Blue
This
Sky,
is a very
writing,
strong accent.
Maybe she's going to be in trouble now. Maybe he can learn to read. The Constitution would be a good place to start.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is also wielding the power of the law on sanctuary cities. Earlier this month, she announced lawsuits against Chicago, Cook County, and Illinois. The DOJ says that these sanctuary cities inhibit federal law enforcement from doing their job.
Hate states' rights. Hate states' rights.
I asked the Attorney General, at what point is it impeding and what point is it not impeding? So I'm simply, as a border czar, asking the Office of the Attorney General, where does to draw the line? So we make sure we give ICE agents the proper standard when they go to these homes. They don't open the door. At what point can you open the door? At what point can't you open the door? So we just want to be sure that ICE officers are doing the right thing. So this is about talking to Attorney General, because every Attorney General interprets things different. What is your interpretation of impeding? Where's that line at? I think it comes
across as really weak for this administration, for this like really gunned up infinite power border czar to basically go from like news interview to news interview whining about one representative in one constituency sharing a webinar like explaining to people what their constitutional rights are. You know, like it's extremely dictatorial for him to literally just be saying like, we should look into whether it's illegal for people to know their rights. Like that's a very straightforwardly awful thing. But it just comes across so weak. Why the f is he saying this to the media rather than just getting the DOJ to slam AOC for the legal thing that she's doing? It kind of comes across like they're just looking to like stir controversy, but this isn't the controversy they should be stirring, you know? I don't know. I feel like it draws the wrong kind of attention. Like you're picking a bad fight here. Is AOC in hot water over webinar on evading ICE? If ever a news article or video opens with a question, the answer is no.
When one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go. Make sure that you are slowing down this system.
AOC's office advising migrants on how to avoid deportations
by following your legal rights.
That was a live webinar. Trump border czar Tom Homan now issuing a warning to AOC.
I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impeachment?
This is is this the third media appearance he's had where he said this? Dude, don't you have a job? How much time are you spending calling into Fox News?
Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts?
That's two Fox News interview and one Fox Business interview.
So
at
I'm
minimum.
working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now. Sanctuary cities, they want to step aside. We're coming. We're going to do it for you. If you don't want to make your community safer, President Trump's going to.
Congressman Carlos Jimenez from House Homeland Security joins me now, and it's great to have you on this topic because...
Dude, keep bringing it in, honestly. You know, if they were going to go off of anyone for this, AOC would be the best one. Widely loved by Democrats, actually competent and charismatic, knows how to win the media attention a little bit, you know, Hispanic. And keep in mind that the biggest, like demographically, the biggest chunk of the electorate who are threatened by these ICE crackdowns are Hispanic people. So having a Hispanic woman be a very visible target, you know, by the dictatorial administration going after her, letting make sure people know their rights, you know, I feel like she could do a good job, like making herself a martyr. I don't think they're actually going to go after her, though. I don't think they have the sauce. What charges would they even bring?
You watch that video and think, shouldn't she be watching for the safety of her constituents? She's actually advising people who broke the law to come into this country to now break the law
not breaking the law. Those are their legal rights.
If and when they are approached or apprehended.
Look at literally advising these undocumented immigrants to break the law while showing a document saying you have the right to remain silent, don't give false documents. If they ask to voluntarily search you, you do not have to give them permission. Like this is unlawful advice, okay? It's like jury nullification. It's not like technically illegal, but they get mad at you if you know it.
Yeah, I saw that and I found it very, very troubling that that a fellow congressperson would say that and then tell people that when there are ICE agents, agents of the law coming in to do their job, that somehow you need to resist and resist and resist. That's not what we do. We're lawmakers. We're not lawbreakers. And so one of the things that I'm looking at now is, look, you know, we also get, security clearances and briefings, et cetera. I think now that we're going to have to take a look at her security level and her security clearance, because
This is like the answer you get when you have nothing to say. So you're just, I think they should look into her and like see if she's like a threat to this country or like an enemy agent. Security clearances should be revoked. They should like send the army over to arrest her, and like Gestapo has answer. Well, it's like they need an answer for him, but like they all know this is legal. They know they're lying. So he's just like, well, sure, why not? Like it's Fox Business, which I think might actually have like a lower median IQ of viewership than Fox News, because people who watch Fox Business might fit that midwit category where they think they're smart enough to like keep track of the stock market or something. See if she has any links to Tren de Aragua. Exactly.
Could she be using that information also to aid and abet illegal migrants that are trying to evade the law? That's really troubling, and I think she can get herself in hot water with this one.
Absolutely. Then, of course, you've got Sanctuary City, New York City Mayor Eric Adams announcing today he is going to work with ICE. Let's watch this.
When I sat down with him, I saw the cop.
Right, where Tom Homan was literally like looked Eric Adams in the eye and was like, yes, we are exchanging a quid pro quo where we drop the federal investigation against you for corruption, and in exchange, you will let ICE into the city. Which, and by the way, have they yet found someone to officially drop that case from the DOJ? Has the DOJ found someone willing to actually drop the case yet? They did? Okay. Had to happen eventually. Andrew Sullivan, a Justice Department in turmoil, moves to dismiss Eric Adams' corruption case. I don't even see them naming the person who did it. Well, whatever.
Immigration enforcement as you ever know. I mean, I had to educate her during congressional testimony that entering the country illegally is a crime. So, whatever. But what she needs to do is read the statutes enacted by Congress. Title 8, United States Code 1324, United States. Title 8, United States Code 1324 and 25. That's what she needs to read, because it's illegal to enter this country. It's a crime to enter this country illegally. Not only that.
Always obsessed with the pictures they use of AOC, because like she is a conventionally attractive woman, so in order to make her look scary, they have to like frame her face in shadow, or she has to look like slightly intense or whatever, you know?
That when you harbor and conceal and impede law enforcement, that's a felony. So what she's doing, she says she's educating them as to constitutional rights, and we all know they got constitutional rights. But what she's really doing, you and I and the rest of the country knows, she's trying to teach them how to evade law enforcement. Now,
pretty clearly giving the game away, like where he's literally admitting it. He's like, yeah, we know all she's doing is teaching them their constitutional rights, but that's inconvenient to us. We're acknowledging that she's not doing anything illegal. It's just, again, just a reminder they always know they're lying, I guess. Like literally just admitting, yeah, we know they have those rights. Okay, then what's the issue with them learning them?
I just said, well, out of the gate, we're concentrating on public safety threats, national security threats. So she's educating those in the country illegally with a significant criminal conviction, public safety threat.
This is, of course, not true. She's just talking to undocumented people, not people who have been convicted of any crimes or represent any public safety threat.
Open your door, don't talk to ICE. Here's how you invade law enforcement. Let's hope she's not educating the next person who gets out and murders a young college student in Georgia. I mean, these are bad people we're looking for. So she can call it education all she wants, but we all know it's about evading law enforcement. These people.
I mean, this logic applies to teaching any person their rights, citizen or non-citizen. Like, if your argument is you shouldn't teach people their constitutional rights because it makes the police's job harder, which makes it harder for police to investigate and arrest dangerous people, that's an argument against anyone knowing their rights, you know? And just another way of showing, like, the authoritarian will use the weak link in society to erode everyone's rights. Do you think the average German citizen had more rights in 1944 than they did in 1932? Like, you think the average citizen, just the average Aryan citizen of Germany, was like more free then? No. God, no. Absolutely not. All their 14-year-olds were being sent over to Stalingrad. They whisper so much as a word of criticism of the government, and their ass is getting shot and thrown in a ditch, turning on their neighbors, their family. God, no. But you go after the weakest link. People might not be willing to go after like Medicaid on its own, but if the government is like, hey, did you know black people are taking advantage of Medicaid or whatever? That's the whole welfare queen bit, you know?
Have been ordered removed. The people we're looking for right now have final orders. They're criminals. They're in the country illegally. A judge has ordered them removed. They become a fugitive. And these are the folks she's helping. So I've asked the Department of Justice to look at this. Where is the line on impediment? Where does that fine line so we can instruct ICE officers what they can do when people don't open the doors or try to evade their arrest? So
the constitutional rights that you acknowledge exist. Yeah. That's like the third interview where he's like, I've asked the DOJ. Okay.
Simply ask DOJ, give me a legal opinion, because every Department of Justice will interpret things differently. What is the legal opinion on impediment? And we'll see what happens.
How significant are the businesses that the dangerous cartels have started up in America? I'm talking about the human trafficking businesses, the safe houses in several cities in this country, and the stash houses, as well as the drug cartel business. How significant has that business become that the drug cartels are running inside America?
But the drug cartels, they're like a Fortune 500 company. Some of these drug cartels, the Jalisco cartel, they're operating in 43 nations, 43 different countries around the globe. They used to be, back in my day when I was an agent, they were responsible for, smuggling drugs into the United States and to our major cities, and it'd be distributed by local gangs. Now they have.
It's kind of crazy that social democracy under FDR was allowed to thrive in America in an era when organized crime ran basically every major city, like organized crime used to be so thoroughly present in American society. You go to Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, God, Las Vegas, when it was off the ground, and it's like, yeah, they're all mob. It's all mob shit all the time, and over time, all those, those mob run businesses, they kind of got pushed back or officially incorporated or whatever. And you sort of, you move past that. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, there's still organized crime in America, but like, holy shit, can you imagine having to deal with it back when it was in its prime? The way they talk about it. Anyway, are they done bitching about AOC?
A footprint never made.
Has allowed you to get tougher on them because he has deemed them terrorist organizations.
Absolutely. President Trump, look.
A dangerous activist should not be allowed in Congress. AOC needs to be arrested and held accountable. She needs to go to jail. Treason. Arrest her. Remove her from Congress. AOC should at least lose her job and go to jail. Arrest AOC. Arrest her for aiding and abetting. Arrest her and put her in jail. We need like a Maoist cultural revolution in America. And I'm not going to elaborate, I'm not saying Pol Pot had any good ideas. I'm just saying, like, what do you think, like, reverse Pol Pot would look like? You go from the cities into the countryside, you execute everyone who doesn't wear glasses, and you're like, oh, you're a farmer? That's great. You're going to do data entry work now. I think there's something to this a little bit. Then everyone starves again. It's Pol Pot. Of course, at the end, everyone starves. And these people are all free speech absolutists. This is the reason why. And you might remember this back when the culture war looked very different to how it does today. You might remember. This is the reason why I didn't engage with the free speech stuff that much. There were a bunch of people, liberals mostly, who were obsessed with doing the like free speech, oh, you're a hypocrite stuff back like from Gamergate through Trump's first administration. And I was always like, they don't believe it. They're all lying. None of them believe in free speech. You can't get them on hypocrisy. Their only belief is in their speech. It's a waste of time to try to accost people for hypocrisy when they know they're lying. You have nothing to go after them on then. They're just going to smile at you. Literally just look at Elon Musk. It's the idiosyncrasy of fascism. You will have people who literally one sentence to another will say, we value freedom of speech and the left is tyrannical trying to take it away. And every judge, every activist, every politician who goes against us should be silenced. Like literally, like in the same. And then you're like, well, isn't that ironic? Isn't that hypocritical? Because if you'll recall how the sentence began, it said something different than what it said at the end. And it's like, okay, yeah. What's funny is that Canadian news clip comments looked like this until 3 weeks ago, but now it's just the same people commenting, I will eat only potatoes for the next 3 years to destroy America. We need that energy, okay? We need Western Europe, we need Canada, we need Mexico, all of them to be like, glory to our nation, glory to our borders, we will defeat the fascist America. We will starve them out. Absolutely. It's the only way. I will plow up the lawn and eat potatoes and cabbage 3 meals a day if that's what it takes as a Canadian. We are being treated as hostages in an attempted armed robbery. Cancel every contract with USA companies. It's probably not more expensive in the long run because the money made will be spent here in Canada. A small price to pay for sovereignty. Keep calm and boycott on. Absolutely. Our strongest soldiers. Americans would never. Americans have been talking about boycotting Chinese products for 30 years and they haven't done it, not even a little bit. Plowing up the lawn and planting vegetables has me thinking. Every blue state citizen, like building their own victory gardens so that they don't have to rely on, I don't know, potatoes from Idaho or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. People paying like $11 a pound, not a pound, an ounce for like California almonds and ignoring everything made in Texas. I just made a bean chili, so I'm prepared for whatever comes. That's what happens when you make bean chili. Perhaps I'm being a doubter, but I think people are seriously overrating the odds Trump becomes unpopular because of the imminent negative consequence of his policies. Farmers were among the biggest losers from his first term, and yet they backed him overwhelmingly when he ran for re-election in 2020. That is true. The political gains here can only calcify around a strong, charismatic political opposition. And that's why we need to be meaner to the Democrats than we ever have been before. Like, just absolutely cruel. Because we need to make it clear that the only space for Democrats to succeed in the future, the only, like, avenue for them moving forward, is they need someone who can genuinely capture the anger, you know? Not capitulate, not, oh, we're going back to normalcy, but somebody who will shine like a diamond in the rough, you know? Under pressure. AOC is good, but not great. No, you guys are misunderstanding. You need someone to capture the anger. Bernie Sanders gives political direction, but a person needs to be spiteful. A person needs to be combative. It's not about policy, it's about charisma. I mean, good policy is good too, but yeah. Stephen A. Smith, ladies and gentlemen, no. Stephen A. Smith is not remotely progressive enough. I'm not cashing my chips in early on this weak shit.